Hello, welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to separate this ident that I made in the previous video.
Lee Pritchard, composer and audio producer. Custom music, sound design and audio production. LeePritchard.com.
So there you go. That's already exported as a full file, as you've just heard. What we're going to do now is just work out which elements we're going to export on their own, because the more elements you export, the more flexibility you've got with everything. So here we go. Let's have a listen. So I'm thinking the first bit. So let's just mute anything that isn't the first voice element, and let's play it. So let's mute every sound effect down to here. Let's see how that sounds. Yep, that'll work. Oh, something cut off then. Where did it? That's a sweep, isn't it? Didn't notice that previously.
Lee Pritchard.
Okay, that's better. Right, so what I'm going to do is going to export this now.
Lee.
So what I need to do is create a loop point. I'm using Cakewalk by BandLab, which is soon going to be Cakewalk. No, it's not. It's soon going to be Sonar. So, whoops. So I'm going to create a set loop point. So let's see.
Lee Pritchard.
Yep, that's fine. So what we're going to do now is select all, and then select the loop region, and then I'm going to click export, and I'm going to export this as element. Lee Pritchard. So I'm just going to call this element 01 Lee Pritchard and export that.
Lee Pritchard.
So there we go. That's now exported. And there it is. Just click and open it. Check it worked. Yep, you can't hear this through the system, so I'm not going to play it on here. Close that. I'll play them all when I've done them all. So that's the first bit. Now let's look at the second part of the vocal on its own.
Composer and audio producer.
So the sound elements I used in this one, I'm going to disable, mute. So it's down to here, basically this glitch. And then I'm going to enable on mute, all of these ones after it. So let's have a listen.
Composer and audio. Composer and.
So the start point now is there. So I'm going to move the loop.
Composer and audio producer.
Okay, I think some of that works, but these don't. Let's have a look. Let's play that again.
Composer and audio producer. Composer and.
Going to extend the loop. I don't like cutting tails off.
Composer and audio.
That's it. So that now is select loop region and export audio. And this is element 2. Composer. There we go.
Composer and audio producer.
Done. So let's have a look now at the Next bit of voiceover. Oh, I actually didn't. Yeah, there was actually 2 parts of the voice there. I missed that. So I only included one.
Composer and audio. Composer and audio producer. Composer and audio producer. Composer and audio.
Gonna do another one just for that voice element there. Select region, export. Call this element 3.
Composer and audio producer.
So yeah, I'm trying to get as many different bits and bobs as I can, so I can drop them into places on other tracks. I'll show you that as well. So let's mute that now and go for
Custom music, sound design and audio production.
right. So that's the one I want now. Let's hear it. Need to knock out some sound effects now.
Custom music, sound design and audio. Custom music, sound design and audio production. Custom music, sound design and audio production.
I might use the whole thing there. I don't know that thing at the end. Do I need the little sound at the end? Yeah, I'll do it at that. So let's check the loop area. Can extend that a bit. As I say, I don't like going off tails. There's a lot of effects tailing out there. That'll do. Right, select all, select loop region, export. This is element 4 and this is custom music.
Custom music.
So what I'll do in a minute, I'll go and export all the vocal parts on their own separately. So, oh, actually, I've got one more vocal thing to do up here. So we mute that one now, and then we go to the last bit of vocal, and we can unmute that.
LeePritchard.com.
Yep.
LeePritchard.com.
So I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. That all that. All that.
LeePritchard.com. LeePritchard.com. LeePritchard.com.
I don't save these individually. When I'm doing stuff like this, you could save a different project for each version that you do, but I'm not doing it on this. It's not that complicated. But if it was a big, sort of complex set of idents and jingles and drops for DJ drops, that type of thing for a project for a DJ intro, outro. If it was complex, I would save them as different files, but this is quite simple. So what I'm just going to do is I'm saving it as 15 and calling it del, which tells me to delete it afterwards. And that just then means that if I mess anything up on this and accidentally it gets saved over my last good version, then I've not sort of lost anything or damaged anything. That's my theory in that. I've always done this sort of thing after having some disasters with files that, I had that thing where I'd save the same file name over and over and over, click save, click save, click save. And then one day I'd got a corrupted file that would not open ever again. And that was it. It was all in that one file. Whereas at least with this, I've got several prior versions that might go back, 20 minutes, half an hour, 10 minutes, depending on how often I save. I tend to save as soon as I do something significant, and end up with loads of versions. Can go up to like over 100 in the numbers, sequential numbers, but then I just delete them all after that I don't need. So anyway, enough of that. Let's select that loop region and let's export that. And this is element 5, and this is the web address. So I'll just check that one in a moment. Check it came out okay. Oh, it's still doing it. Try again. Got ahead of myself then. Tried to open it before it exported. Yep, looks about right. You can't hear it, but I can. Yep, that's fine. Right, so that's all of the voice elements now with sound effects. What I'll do now, mute all the sound effects. Go back to the voice elements and export them piece by piece. I probably could have done this at the same time as I was doing each section and just turn the effects off, but never mind. So let's just test that. That'll do. Select all, select loop region, export. This is element 6, and this is vocal only. Let's put vocal, it's fine. And off it goes.
Lee Pritchard.
And there we have it. So then we mute that. I'm going to do these two together this time. So
Composer and audio producer. Composer and audio producer.
select region, export. Element 7, vocal. Excuse me while I get a drink.
Composer and audio producer.
So as you can see, none of this is rocket science. It's all quite standard, basic stuff if you know how to do it. But it takes time. So there's a time aspect involved. Let's check this one.
Music, sound design, and audio production.
That sounds all right to me. Select loop region, export. Basically, I'm going to click on this one that says custom, change the number to 08, custom, and then add vocal at the end.
Custom music, sound design, and audio production.
I mean, I have got these vocal elements in the first lot of files that I made that you saw on the other video, but because I've added a different level of compression and more processing and more audio effects such as echo, reverb, that kind of thing, I'm just re-exporting these ones again. Let's just check that one. It came out okay. I do this periodically in case I've done something stupid and not selected something, because I have been known to export silence, and it's quite annoying when you've done that a few times. So finally,
LeePritchard.com.
yeah, that's me. Yeah, okay.
LeePritchard.com.
Okay. It's quite strange actually doing an ident with your own name in it, because normally I'm doing DJ drops for DJs, and it's someone else's name that I keep hearing. It's a bit weird to keep hearing my own. So 09 now, web address, vocal, and save and export.
LeePritchard.com.
And that's that. So normally I wouldn't export the sound effects bed out on its own for a couple of reasons. Well, first reason is it's usually synchronized to different parts of the voice. So on its own, let's have a listen. I don't know what it sounds like on its own. To have a listen.
Lee Pritchard, composer and audio producer.
Yeah, it would help if I mute the vocals. Yeah, so like I say, normally I wouldn't export that on its own because it's kind of meaningless without the vocals anyway. And the other reason I have to be careful doing stuff like that is because I've licensed all of these. If I export a sound effects bed and it isolates certain sound effects on their own, while they're layered, it's fine. The license is covered for that. But if I export individual elements on their own, let's say there's an exposed sort of boom sound somewhere and somebody cut that out and used it, then it's not licensed. So I don't really want to be spreading people's sound effects around the web, do I? So you've got to be careful of that, really. So I think that is probably as much as I can do. So let's just close that now then. Don't need to save it. And let's have a look at these elements I've exported. What we'll do, we'll create a new project. And oh, I've got two folders with the same stuff here. Let's go to here. Right, so I've actually got a set of music demos for my own custom music, for music that I'll write. So I'm going to mix some of those in a minute and I'll show you that. But for now, what I'll do, I'll just drag in all the elements that we created then, delete 2 tracks, and we'll just check them out, see how they look or sound even. These are the elements. Just whiz through them.
Composer and audio producer. Composer and audio producer. Custom music, sound design and audio production. LeePritchard.com. Lee Pritchard. Composer and audio producer. Custom music, sound design and audio production. LeePritchard.com. Lee Pritchard, composer.
There you go. That's my 10 files there in there. So 10 files from that one ident, which might as well have them. You know, it only takes a bit of time to export them. And now I can use these in any way I like on my own tracks. So what I've done, I've opened one of my demo compilations I've done. This is my dance compilation. So it's basically made up of 5 tracks that I wanted to use as my demo. Now what I've also done, I've added in the idents. So I've got all the idents there now as they are. So what I'll first want to do is at the end of this, I want to put on the ident so that, you know, when this demo hopefully lands on thousands of filmmakers and advert creators' desks, and they listen to it and they go, oh, I want some of this music making, or I want to use some of the music that I'm hearing. They'll know where to go because my ident will be the end of it. Yeah, it might be named in the file, but then file names get changed, don't they? Things move around the web. So having it in audio is kind of a foolproof, fail-safe method of making sure that people know who made the music. So at the end of it, basically,
Lee Pritchard.
yeah, you just line it up to where you think it fits nicely.
Lee Pritchard.
Let's have a look.
Lee Pritchard, composer and audio producer. Custom music, sound.
I think that works for me. So basically,
Lee Pritchard, composer and audio producer. Custom music, sound.
you get the idea. So I'm just going to save that now. So that will be exported and will be my new demo. So the other thing you can do is use these little elements within tracks. So you could do it as a copyright protection thing if you wanted to, or if you're, commonly DJ drops use this sort of thing. So, you would drop in sort of your ident in your mix. Now, I'm not really going to do that because I'm not a DJ, but I may use some of these elements. Let me just solo some. So I may use, for instance, this element when we get to it.
Lee Pritchard.
That element there could be a shorter version of what we've just used. So, for instance, let's mute that long version of it and have the short version.
Lee Pritchard.
So, might not want to use the whole ident every time. So you could use that. But then if you were a DJ and you had some drops made by me, which would be the same sort of audio quality, it'd just be different words, you could drop it onto your mix. So for instance, you would probably do it with a vocal only version. So, where is that? Let's go back. So this one, for instance, let's have a listen to it on its own.
Composer and audio producer.
Yeah, you might want to drop that in somewhere. Let me just bring it up to the music so you can see what I'm on about. There we go. So you might be sort of in the middle of a 5-minute piece of music as a DJ, and you might want to drop your name in. But in this case, it'll be my music, and this will be just dropped in for the sake of dropping in. Now it'll overload.
Composer and audio producer.
I could add in my name as well before that. So let's have the element that's just my name. Where's that gone? No, I'll just use the web address actually. This one. So I'm roughly lining it up with the beat. So I'll zoom into the beat and pop that.
Composer and audio producer. Composer and audio producer.
It should be the first beat of the bar, really. Let's listen.
Composer and audio producer.
That's the first beat of the bar there.
Composer and audio producer.
That sounded much better on the first beat of the bar, didn't it? So let's carry on.
LeePritchard.com.
That's the first beat of the bar there. Let's drag this to the first beat of the bar as well. So let's have a listen.
LeePritchard.com.
Right, let's play it back from here.
Composer and audio producer.
So you get the idea, and actually I might keep that. I quite like it. But that's what you can do with these things. So whether it's a DJ drop or a composer ident, it just works. So thanks for watching, and hopefully that was useful. And if you would like to use it in my music or hire me as a composer, sound designer, audio producer, links are in the description. Thank you very much.